files. Here's ABC's Alex Mallon.
I think what the committee is trying to do is both kind of quietly urging the Justice Department to hand over and be transparent as it initially promised in those files, and also mounting its own investigation, trying to, give out drips and drabs from former attorneys general and other officials who may have been involved in overseeing the Epstein federal investigations.
Epstein died by suicide while awaiting his federal sex trafficking trial. His companion, Ghislaine Maxwell, is serving a 20-year prison sentence for her sex trafficking conviction. A push for lasting peace between Russia and Ukraine already facing hurdles after a summit and a meeting yesterday. President Trump working to set up a bilateral meeting between leaders of Ukraine and Russia. At the same time, Russia is carrying out fresh attacks in Ukraine. Here's ABC's Ian Pannell.
While European leaders and President Trump were wrapping up their peace talks, Russia was launching more attacks on Ukraine. 270 drones and 10 missiles fired overnight and this morning, hitting 16 different towns and cities across the country. Here, smoke billowing over the Ukrainian city of Kremenchuk today. The city's mayor reporting dozens of explosions, with Russia again targeting energy and transport facilities.
Iconic equipment maker John Deere says it's cutting more than 200 jobs. John Deere blaming the struggling ag economy for a round of those job cuts. 238 employees in all will be losing their jobs. Harvester works in East Moline, Illinois, making up almost half of affected employees. Another facility in Iowa. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
In Denver, a large-scale search is underway following a stabbing attack on a park ranger. ABC's Alex Stone has details.
At Staunton State Park in Jefferson County, Colorado, heavily armed SWAT team members have been making their way through the woods looking for a man who stabbed a seasonal park ranger. The sheriff's department says it is an active search. The park ranger is at a hospital. Their condition is unknown. It's also unclear what led up to the stabbing.
Texas Republicans advanced a redistricting measure after State House Democrats returned when they broke quorum to protest that measure. Dozens of Texas Democrats left the state during the two-week standoff.
When the Texas House convened Monday, Speaker Dustin Burrows said,
"A quorum is present, and it's time to resume the work of the people of Texas sent us here to do."
A key Republican item, redistricting, and the full House will consider new legislative maps Wednesday after they advance from committee Monday. Democrats have signaled they will not break quorum again, but say they'll build a legal case to fight what they call unconstitutional maps. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Air Canada says it will resume to its full schedule of flights after the airline and 10,000 flight attendants and a union reached a tentative contract deal. The flight attendants went on strike last weekend, leading to a cascade of cancellations worldwide, with passengers stranded or plans derailed. The airline says it could take a week or more to get flights back on track. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry! Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report. Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Tuesday, August 19th. The magnitude 3.7 earthquake reported last night just north of Nia Bay in the Strait of Juan de Fuca. That, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, it hit about 7:17 p.m. at a depth of about 25 miles. No reports of any damage or injuries. Clallam County Commissioners are considering a letter to the Jamestown S'Klallam tribe proposing a formal agreement to address the impacts of land placed into the tribe's federal trust status. Commissioners say each trust conversion removes property from the county tax rolls, and that can shift the burden to other taxpayers. Commissioner Marco Zayas, in a work session yesterday, said the letter would be intended as a starting point for discussion.
But my hope is that this letter will just be an invitation to open up the conversation with the Jamestown Tribal Council to talk about this subject in a little bit more detail and hopefully come to a mutually acceptable agreement or understanding as to how we can be thinking about the impact of these various trust conversions, both what it means for the tribe and for their governance and for the fulfillment of creation of a land base for that tribe and what it means for Clallam County.
County officials say recent Jamestown trust land transfers represent about $19,000 in lost annual property tax revenue on parcels valued at about $2 million. While the short-term impact is modest, commissioners noted the repeated conversions could significantly reduce the county's tax base, particularly given the large share of exempt land that's already in Clallam County. County Administrator Todd Milkey says they're looking at a recent payment in lieu of taxes deal between the county, Quileute tribe, and the city of Forks as a possible model. But he also pointed out tribal trust land is a very small percentage of the 65% of the land in Clallam County that is not on the tax rolls, land that is held as public property.
We are about 35% private ownership, so the inverse of that obviously would be 65% public ownership. And I would say that that is a very conservative number. Here's what it does not include. Road right-of-ways are public ownership taken off the tax. That is not reflected in these numbers. Anything that is owned by a school district, there are some state agencies that are not reflected in these numbers, like Peninsula College. And so when I say 35% of this land base in Clallam County is subject to property tax, it's probably a little bit less than that.
Commissioners also said they'd like to talk about lodging taxes and how that impacts tribal lodging facilities and the county's take on those. The draft letter notes the tribe's sovereign rights and economic impact. The Jamestown S'Klallam tribe employs about 1,100 people, provides about $4 million in monthly payroll, and spent $6.8 million locally last year and paid about $210,000 in county property taxes on non-exempt land. More news after this.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan & Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Whether you're a homeowner, investor, or first-time buyer, understanding our market is essential. Here to provide a little insight on the local real estate market is May Graves.
As always, thank you, Todd. This is your monthly market minute for July 2025. In Port Angeles, we sold 38 homes. Median days on market, just 13. Median home price, $438,000, which is down from the previous month. 10 of the 38 homes sold for full price or more, and 9 of the 38 homes sold to cash buyers. Here we go for Squim. We sold 61 homes. Median days on market, 28, which is way up. Median home price, $560,000, which is down a bit from the previous month. 24 of the 61 homes sold for full price or more. 19 of the 61 homes sold to cash buyers. If you want more information, call me. It's May Graves, 360-461-1922.
In other news, a Squim fire official has earned a national credential that recognizes leadership in fire service. Clallam County Fire District 3 says Battalion Chief Elliot Jones has received the Chief Fire Officer designation from the Commission on Professional Credentialing. He's now one of just 4,000 fire officers worldwide to have that title. The designation requires a peer-reviewed process and is based on factors such as experience, education, professional development, and community involvement. The designation lasts 3 years and will require Jones to continue professional development and service to maintain the credential. Clallam County PUD has been awarded the Washington State Auditor's prestigious Stewardship Award for excellence in government accountability and transparency. State Auditor Pat McCarthy traveling to the PUD headquarters to present the award, saying it recognizes the PUD's strong audit record over the past decade, clear and comprehensive financial statements, and ongoing commitment to openness and accessibility. PUD leaders said the award reflects the hard work of its employees across the district and their commitment to building and maintaining public trust. Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife officials say 2 anglers face multiple citations after they were caught illegally snagging salmon near the Solduck Fish Hatchery last week. According to WDFW, an officer observed the unidentified men fishing downstream of the hatchery's intake creek, repeatedly ripping heavy twitching jigs through groups of salmon. After one angler landed a fish, the pair packed up and started back toward the trailhead carrying 4 Chinook. When the officer stepped out and identified himself, he saw 2 of the fish had clear snag marks, while the others appeared to be legally hooked. Officials said one of the anglers muttered, "Oh, great," when confronted. When the men admitted 2 salmon had been foul hooked and those fish were seized. Fish and Wildlife said citations will also be issued for exceeding the daily catch limit, using barbed hooks, and failing to record their catch. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has warned Washington Governor Bob Ferguson that the state's sanctuary policies could cost it federal funding unless it complies with immigration enforcement. In the letter last week, Bondi said Washington had been identified as a sanctuary jurisdiction and accused its policies of obstructing federal law. She gave Ferguson until today to confirm compliance and outline steps to roll back state laws, including the 2019 Keep Washington Working Act, which limits local law enforcement cooperation with federal immigration authorities. Bondi warned that noncompliance could affect federal grants and contracts and suggested jurisdictions could also face criminal charges. Ferguson pushed back in a public response, saying Washington will not abandon its values or change its approach. He defended the Keep Washington Working Act as a law that protects families and allows police to focus on public safety rather than immigration enforcement. Ferguson said he will issue a full response to the AG by today. President Trump said yesterday he plans to issue an executive order to end mail-in voting, calling the practice corrupt and a threat to democracy. Washington, which has conducted elections entirely by mail since 2011, is now pushing back. Attorney General Nick Brown said the state will fight any order in court, calling the president's claims lies about his 2020 election loss. State Secretary of State Steve Hobbs noted the U.S. Constitution gives authority over elections to Congress and the states, not the president, and stressed Washington's vote-by-mail system is safe and secure. Political experts say no president has the power to dictate state election systems. Washington officials say they remain committed to protecting mail-in voting, which has been in place in this state in some form since 1983. This is Newsradio KONP.
If you like sunshine, warm weather, and vacation like I do, then August is your month. This is Dale from Wilder Auto, and if you like great deals on closeout models, then August is also your month. You've got great selection, huge rebates, awesome financing, and some of the best brands on the planet. Makes it seem like the end of summer, but it's not, so hurry in for best selection. Stop by and check us out or 24/7 at wilderauto.com.
This is Trevor Shumway from Firehouse Grill. We have some great news. We're dropping prices on our most popular items and not dropping quality. We're stubborn in wanting to provide the best quality possible. We hand weigh and hand smash our burgers daily, marinating our chicken in-house and hand bread it per order. hand scooping every shake ordered. And have you tried our smash burgers yet? One of the best things we've done at Firehouse Grill. I won't compromise on quality ever. Come check us out. Firehouse Grill Burgers and Fries on 8th Street.
Don't miss History at the Hub, Friday, August 22nd from 4 to 8 p.m. A fundraiser for the North Olympic History Center. You'll enjoy drinks, light refreshments, and live music. Come make your own block print with a selection of historic newspapers. A silent auction offers items from vintage collectibles, clothing, artwork, jewelry, and area experiences. Benefiting the NOHC, History at the Hub is Friday, August 22nd, 4 to 8 p.m. at the Hub in downtown Port Angeles.
Here's your Newsradio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Daytime highs approaching 66 this afternoon under overcast skies with a slight chance of rain. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected again tonight. Lows dip down to about 52. High temperatures reach up to 64 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Ample sunshine and dry Thursday and Friday. Upper 60s Thursday, mid 70s by Friday. A peek at the extended shows, 76 Saturday, 73 Sunday, and 72 on Monday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 61.
Rust can be shaken off relatively quickly. Good morning, I'm Jay Reynolds. Monday night preseason football last night. Washington, Cincinnati. Joe Burrow plays 3 series, leads the Bengals to touchdowns on 2 of the 3. Bengals playing last night. Trey Hendrickson did not. He did speak with our Laura Rutledge, says they're close on things like average salary and the length of the deal, but the guaranteed money is still the big hurdle. Browns naming Joe Flacco as their starter. Deshaun Watson is recovering from an Achilles, so Flacco gets the nod over Kenny Pickett and rookies Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Matthew Stafford practicing yesterday for the first time at training camp with the Rams. Baseball, don't look now, but it's a 4-game win streak for Colorado.
Oh, one pitch, bounced up the middle, into center field. Tovar rounds third, he scores! Warming Bernabel, his first walk-off hit as a big leaguer. And the Rockies make it 4 in a row. Final score, Rockies 4, Los Angeles 3.
850 KOA, Rockies have won 4 straight, 6 of 7. They need 6 wins in their final 37 games to avoid the record of 121 losses set last year by the White Sox. Giants score 4 in the first. They hang on to beat the Padres 4-3. In the loss, Xander Bogaerts has a home run overturned, and it was an out for fan interference. Padres lose. They've dropped 4 straight since they had taken over first place in the NL West. They're now 2 games behind the Dodgers. Diamondbacks also dropping 4 straight. It's a 3-1 loss to Cleveland last night. Reds top the Angels 4-1. Bryce Harper hits a pair. Phillies top the Mariners 12-7. Phillies pitcher Zach Wheeler has had surgery to remove a blood clot in his upper right arm. The team says the timeline for his recovery remains unknown. White Sox had 4 homers, beat Atlanta 13-9. Kansas City 4-3 over the Rangers. Royals are 17-11 since the All-Star break.
In local sports, the North Olympic 13U baseball team lost 4-1 to Broomall, Newtown, Pennsylvania yesterday at the Babe Ruth World Series, despite allowing just 4 hits in the game. Carson Greenstreet drove in Jacob Kimsey for North Olympic's lone run, but the team managed just 2 hits overall. Now at 0-2, North Olympic must win its final pool games against Australia today and Stamford, Connecticut on Wednesday to advance into the winners round.
2-2 on the way, swing and a miss for strike 3, and the ball game is over. We'll wait another day for that historic home run. The Phillies win it tonight, a final score of 12-7.
Trey Turner had 4 hits, including his first home run at home this season, and Bryce Harper homered twice. The Philadelphia Phillies beat the Seattle Mariners hard, 12-7 last night. Same 2 teams had it again this afternoon, 2:30 airtime here on KONP, brought to you by Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Today on the TO Show, Peninsula College President Susie Ames joins us. We'll also meet the new resident physicians for the Rural Training Program with Dr. Michael Waters, and Amanda Bacon chats with Netflix director Joe Berlinger about his latest true crime documentary, The Son of Sam Tapes.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The Japanese tech giant SoftBank says it plans to take a $2 billion stake in the struggling U.S. chipmaker Intel. That's the same company that the federal government is now trying to take a 10% stake in. That's got shares of Intel up 7% on a pretty lousy day for the markets for the rest of the tech sector. Right now, the Dow is down just a small percentage, but boy, the tech-heavy NASDAQ is getting pummeled, down 1.5%, more than 300 points lower. It's led by a sell-off in shares of the chipmaker NVIDIA. The S&P is down 0.75%. There was some good news in housing, though. New home construction in July jumping more than 5% higher to the most in 5 months. A lot of that building was multifamily units, think apartment buildings, condos, and the like, which saw the biggest increase in 2 years. And Oscar Mayer is trying to please everyone at that backyard cookout with a new pack called Every Bun. It comes with traditional Oscar Mayer beef wieners and plant-based, not hot dogs. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Check the traffic next.
At McCrory Carpet One, they know how important it is to feel confident in your flooring selection. You want to know it's going to look exactly the way you want it once it's installed in your home. That's why they offer their one-of-a-kind guarantee, making sure you're 100% happy that the floor you've created together is as beautiful as the one in your dreams. If not, they'll replace it for free. That's what they call the Beautiful Guarantee. Peace of mind is yours with every installation. Always priced right, always done right. McCrory Carpet One.
Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales has huge savings all month long. Buy any brand new tractor and get a free implement worth up to $1,000. Pick any trailer 2025 or older, and Leeds will cover your tax and licensing. Warm up with clean, burn wood pellets at $5 a bag and home fire logs for just $1 each. Save on fencing, hydraulic fluid, even Montana Silversmith jewelry and Montana West bags. Up to 35% off. It's all happening this month at Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales.
Newsradio KONP. Traffic and roads.
Right up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go. That's where Steve's standing by with an eye on the noontime road and traffic conditions for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, busy day out there right now in both Port Angeles and Sequim. Downtown Port Angeles, real steady traffic making its way through town. A little bit slow going, especially as you get into the downtown Port Angeles area. Also in Sequim, along Washington Street, Sequim Avenue, 5th Avenue, those areas, just a lot of traffic out there right now. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Sequim, we're doing okay. Our construction area here in Port Angeles, Lees Creek and Baker Dip, be very careful through that area. Definitely want to watch your speeds and be careful as you're going through there. That'll be down to 1 lane each direction here a little later on this evening as they bring girders in for the new bridges. So be very careful through that area. Also out at 101 Bar Road, that area along 101, they are doing chip sealing, and so they're shutting down a lane in each direction as they go back and forth. They're taking care of that. So that has caused a little bit of a slowdown out there on the highway. If you're beyond the Sequim area, Hood Canal Bridge is currently good to go. No scheduled marine openings here for a little while anyway. State ferries are running on time today. If you're headed out to the west end, you're in pretty good shape all the way out. Just light to moderate traffic out there right now. A little slowdowns to our construction areas there, but other than that, we're doing pretty good. So everybody enjoy your afternoon and be safe. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Another update from you in about a half hour. Right now, weather-wise, you're going to see things be kind of a mix of clouds, some sun breaks, maybe a sprinkle or two this afternoon. Highs will be in the mid-60s to about 70. Cloudy tonight, upper 40s to mid-50s overnight. And then sunshine Wednesday and right through the next week or so, and we'll start a warm-up as well. Wednesday into the mid to upper 60s. We'll get into the mid-70s by Thursday, and we could be touching 80 degrees by this weekend. Right now across the North Peninsula, 65 in Port Townsend. It's 69 now in Sequim, and it's 63 degrees out at Fairchild Airport here in Port Angeles. Well, a study shows that using AI to draft your professional emails might be eroding trust with your readers. Chuck Palm has some details in today's Tech Report.
A University of Florida study surveyed 1,100 workers and found that while AI makes managers' emails look professional, heavy use, like crafting the entire message, makes the employees roll their eyes. Many workers can spot AI's robotic vibe and think it screams laziness or lack of care. Only 40 to 52% see their bosses as being sincere when AI is heavily involved, compared to 83% for light edits like grammar fixes or spelling mistakes. Study researcher Anthony Coleman said there's a tension between message quality and sender's perception. When a boss sends a congratulatory email or birthday wish that's crafted by AI, employees actually question their leadership. Pro tip: stick to AI for routine memos, but not personal messages that need some empathy. For more, find me at chuckpalm.com.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Working out, even with the best of intentions, can sometimes do a number on your posture if you're not doing the right exercises with proper form. Poor posture can lead to tight muscles, restricted mobility, even chronic pain. But strength and conditioning specialist Dana Santos says a few simple adjustments can help you train smarter so your workouts boost your strength while improving your posture, leaving you moving better inside and outside the gym. First, you need to balance pulling and pushing exercises. So if you're doing push-ups or overhead presses, you should also do rows or band pull-aparts. It's also important to incorporate mobility exercises into your routine, not just during warm-ups and not just on recovery days. Finally, it's always more important to practice proper form than to use heavier weights. Form first. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
DQ presents The Sound of Happy. Hear that? That's the DQ Chicken Strip Basket. Only $7.49 for a limited time. We're talking 4 100% white meat seasoned chicken strips served with fries, Texas toast, and DQ's signature country gravy. Yeah, you heard that right. For crunch time and no time, it can only be the DQ Chicken Strip Basket. Just $7.49 for a limited time. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good at participating locations.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. On December the 1st, 1955, something happened in America which changed the face of our nation forever. I'll tell you that story after this important message. Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart. It's been over 20 years now since I started doing my radio programs. How did I get the idea to start it? 2 reasons. First, to remind us all where we've come from and our duty to make our great America even greater. My second reason, some in our nation today are trying hard to rewrite history with lies and half-truths, and that's wrong. Want to hear 70 of my favorite true stories on one CD? Call me now at 817-995-4607 and place your order. Or you can go online at www.jerrystewartusa.com. And the cost? Just $19.95 plus $6 shipping and handling, a total of $25.95. Place your order now, and I'll include with it my book, Saving America, at no additional charge. So call now at 817-995-4607 or go online at www.jerrystewartusa.com. Give us a call. Until then, tell the truth. God bless you. On December the 1st, 1955, a black woman, Rosa Parks, boarded a bus to travel home after work. During that bus ride home, she was told to go to the back of the bus to allow a white passenger to sit in her seat. Rosa Parks refused, and she was arrested. Her arrest prompted the Montgomery bus boycott, and for a full year, black citizens refused to ride in segregated buses. What happened? The Supreme Court ruled that segregated busing was unconstitutional, and it was stopped. In 1999, at 86 years old, Rosa Parks received the Congressional Gold Medal, the highest civilian honor given by Congress. Rosa Parks, a woman of true courage. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
Hi, this is John Holm, president of Tri-State Roofing, your local and family-owned company covering the entire Olympic Peninsula area. The difference with Tri-State Roofing is we separate ourselves with the quality of products we offer, customer service, including an A-plus rating with the BBB, solid safety plans, and the best labor guarantees around. Call 360-208-2222.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
You may have seen on the news, gold and silver are at an all-time high. Ever wonder what your old jewelry and coin collections are worth? Come see me at American Rare Coin and Gold in Squim. We can all use a little extra money, right? Here at American Rare Coin, we love to buy gold and silver and provide you the best prices. American Rare Coin and Gold, 338 West Washington in Squim, or call 360-968-4943. 360-968-4943.
Stop by Paua Treasure Trap. We're located in the front of Easy Pond in downtown Port Angeles. We have a fun selection of gifts to choose from. Everything from our best-selling leather journals to anime figures and fun pop culture gifts. We also have hard-to-find collectible swords for fantastic displays. And you've got to check out our adult humor section in our front mezzanine that's full of not safe for work gag gifts guaranteed to spark laughter. Easy Pond in downtown Port Angeles.
Everyone deserves the opportunity to thrive. That's why United Way mobilizes the caring power of neighbors, businesses, and community partners to lead transformational change here in Clallam County. From strengthening local resilience to advancing health, youth opportunity, and financial security, we're working towards a future where everyone can reach their full potential. Join us in leading the way to a better future for all by donating at tinyurl.com/UnitedWayClallam.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. Hurricane Aaron is pounding North Carolina's Outer Banks as it threatens to whip up huge waves and tropical force winds. Tommy Hutcherson, who owns Ocracoke Variety Store in the Outer Banks, says some people are evacuating while others, like him, are staying put to ride out Aaron.
We've been through so many storms that it's not, it doesn't change a whole lot. Some people are trying to decide whether they're going to leave or stay still. But for the most part, most of the residents are still here, I believe, and most of the visitors are gone.
Coastal flooding is expected to begin today. Officials say stay out of the water due to those deadly rip currents. President Trump says Ukraine must accept certain conditions in order to end the war with Russia.
The president is optimistic that a deal can be made to bring an end to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but he told Fox News that two of Ukraine's aspirations will not be realized. He said Crimea, which Russia seized by force back in 2014, will not be returned, and that Ukraine will not be allowed to join the NATO military alliance.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston with that report. Protesters gathered today in Sacramento to protest family-threatening legislation. Correspondent Larry Marino has the report.
The legislation, AB 495, would significantly expand the range of adults who can fill out a child's caregiver's authorization affidavit. Southern California pastor Jack Hibbs has called it, quote, the most dangerous bill we've ever seen, unquote. He's leading a rally at the state capitol today. He says AB 495 is a dangerous bill that puts every child at risk. The Alliance Defending Freedom argues that AB 495 is likely unconstitutional. This is Larry Marino reporting.
The Dow dropping 59 points, the Nasdaq down 320. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-0141. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Outer space has emerged as the world's next battlefield.
That's been demonstrated by recent cyber attacks on satellites blamed on Russia. National security officials have said the Kremlin also is seeking to develop a space-based weapon that could knock out American satellites, potentially devastating the U.S. economy while leaving the country vulnerable to military attack. Officials in Washington are taking notice, investing in greater efforts to defend U.S. satellites while countering threats from China and Russia. Keith Peters, Washington.
Home Depot sales improved during its fiscal second quarter as consumers remain focused on smaller projects amid cost concerns, but its performance barely missed Wall Street expectations. Nexstar Media Group buying broadcast rival Tegna for $6.2 billion, which will help strengthen its local news offerings. Nexstar will pay $22 in cash for each share of Tegna's outstanding stock. Breaking news at townhall.com.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Tuesday, August 19th. The magnitude 3.7 earthquake reported last night just north of Nia Bay in the Strait of Juan de Fuca. That, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, it hit about 7:17 p.m., a depth of about 25 miles. No reports of any damage or injuries. Clallam County Commissioners are considering a letter to the Jamestown S'Klallam tribe proposing a formal agreement to address the impacts of land placed into the tribe's federal trust status. Commissioners say each trust conversion removes property from the county tax rolls, and that can shift the burden to other taxpayers. Commissioner Marco Zayas, in a work session yesterday, said the letter would be intended as a starting point for discussion.
But my hope is that this letter will just be an invitation to open up the conversation with the Jamestown Tribal Council to talk about this subject in a little bit more detail and hopefully come to a mutually acceptable agreement or understanding as to how we can be thinking about the impact of these various trust conversions, both what it means for the tribe and for their governance and for the fulfillment of creation of a land base for that tribe and what it means for Clallam County.
County officials say recent Jamestown trust land transfers represent about $19,000 in lost annual property tax revenue on parcels valued at about $2 million. While the short-term impact is modest, commissioners noted the repeated conversions could significantly reduce the county's tax base, particularly given the large share of exempt land that's already in Clallam County. County Administrator Todd Milkey says they're looking at a recent payment in lieu of taxes deal between the county, Quileute tribe, and the city of Forks as a possible model. But he also pointed out tribal trust land is a very small percentage of the 65% of the land in Clallam County that is not on the tax rolls, land that is held as public property.
We are about 35% private ownership, so the inverse of that obviously would be 65% public ownership. And I would say that that is a very conservative number. Here's what it does not include. Road right-of-ways or public ownership taken off the tax. That is not reflected in these numbers. Anything that is owned by a school district. There are some state agencies that are not reflected in these numbers, like Peninsula College. And so when I say 35% of this land base in Clallam County is subject to property tax, it's probably a little bit less than that.
Commissioners also said they'd like to talk about lodging taxes and how that impacts tribal lodging facilities and the county's take on those. The draft letter notes the tribe's sovereign rights and economic impact. The Jamestown S'Klallam tribe employs about 1,100 people, provides about $4 million in monthly payroll, and spent $6.8 million locally last year and paid about $210,000 in county property taxes on non-exempt land. More news after this.
The savings are so big right now at Swain's, you'll have to see them to believe them. Come on in and check out the summer and back to school sale. Grab more savings off the shelves while keeping more dollars in your pocket. The entire stock of men's Wrangler jeans are buy two, get one free. Women's and kids' Under Armour is all 20% off. Can-Cam denim jeans are 25% off, and men's Timberland Pro t-shirts, sweatshirts, pants, and caps are 25% off too. These savings and more, all right now during the summer sale at Swain's.
This is James Garlick, Co-Artistic Director of Music on the Straight, inviting you and your family to 2 exciting concerts at Field Hall on Monday, September 1st and Saturday, September 6th. Both shows feature world-renowned pianist Jeremy Denk in concert with some of the best musicians from around the country. Families are warmly welcome and kids are only $5.
To learn more and get your tickets for Music on the Straight, visit musiconthestraight.org. Get there early for pre-concert activities including full bar and food.
Don't miss History at the Hub, Friday, August 22nd from 4 to 8 p.m. A fundraiser for the North Olympic History Center. You'll enjoy drinks, light refreshments, and live music. Come make your own block print with a selection of historic newspapers. A silent auction offers items from vintage collectibles, clothing, artwork, jewelry, and area experiences. Benefiting the NOHC, History at the Hub is Friday, August 22nd, 4 to 8 p.m. at the Hub in downtown Port Angeles.
In other news, a Sequim fire official has earned a national credential that recognizes leadership in fire service. Clallam County Fire District 3 says Battalion Chief Elliot Jones has received the Chief Fire Officer designation from the Commission on Professional Credentialing. He's now one of just 4,000 fire officers worldwide to have that title. The designation requires a peer-reviewed process and is based on factors such as experience, education, professional development, and community involvement. The designation lasts 3 years and will require Jones to continue professional development and service to maintain the credential. Clallam County PUD has been awarded the Washington State Auditor's prestigious Stewardship Award for excellence in government accountability and transparency. State Auditor Pat McCarthy traveling to the PUD headquarters to present the award, saying it recognizes the PUD's strong audit record over the past decade, clear and comprehensive financial statements, and ongoing commitment to openness and accessibility. PUD leaders said the award reflects the hard work of its employees across the district and their commitment to building and maintaining public trust. Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife officials say 2 anglers face multiple citations after they were caught illegally snagging salmon near the Salduck Fish Hatchery last week. According to WDFW, an officer observed the unidentified men fishing downstream of the hatchery's intake creek, repeatedly ripping heavy twitching jigs through groups of salmon. After one angler landed a fish, the pair packed up and started back toward the trailhead carrying 4 Chinook. When the officer stepped out and identified himself, he saw 2 of the fish had clear snag marks, while the others appeared to be legally hooked. Officials said one of the anglers muttered, "Oh, great," when confronted. When the men admitted 2 salmon had been foul hooked and those fish were seized. Fish and Wildlife said citations will also be issued for exceeding the daily catch limit, using barbed hooks, and failing to record their catch. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has warned Washington Governor Bob Ferguson that the state's sanctuary policies could cost it federal funding unless it complies with immigration enforcement. In the letter last week, Bondi said Washington had been identified as a sanctuary jurisdiction and accused its policies of obstructing federal law. She gave Ferguson until today to confirm compliance and outline steps to roll back state laws, including the 2019 Keep Washington Working Act, which limits local law enforcement cooperation with federal immigration authorities. Bondi warned that noncompliance could affect federal grants and contracts and suggested jurisdictions could also face criminal charges. Ferguson pushed back in a public response, saying Washington will not abandon its values or change its approach. He defended the Keep Washington Working Act as a law that protects families and allows police to focus on public safety rather than immigration enforcement. Ferguson said he will issue a full response to the AG by today. President Trump said yesterday he plans to issue an executive order to end mail-in voting, calling the practice corrupt and a threat to democracy. Washington, which has conducted elections entirely by mail since 2011, is now pushing back. Attorney General Nick Brown said the state will fight any order in court, calling the president's claims lies about his 2020 election loss. State Secretary of State Steve Hobbs noted the U.S. Constitution gives authority over elections to Congress and the states, not the president, and stressed Washington's vote-by-mail system is safe and secure. Political experts say no president has the power to dictate state election systems. Washington officials say they remain committed to protecting mail-in voting, which has been in place in this state in some form since 1983. This is Newsradio KONP. Today on the TO Show, Peninsula College President Susie Ames joins us. We'll also meet the new resident physicians for the Rural Training Program with Dr. Michael Waters, and Amanda Bacon chats with Netflix director Joe Berlinger about his latest true crime documentary, The Son of Sam Tapes.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
A daily soak in a saltwater hot spring spa, a swim in an endless pool swim spa, or a therapeutic session in a Tilo sauna are ways Olympic Hot Tub can help you feel, live, and be better. Start today at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Get ready for Ribfest in Esquimalt, BC. Tickets are now on sale for this 3-day event, September 5th, 6th, and 7th. Hop across the water and experience 6 different rivers, live music, local brews, ice cream, deep-fried onions, poutine, and more. The Kids Zone is a favorite for those parents who want to let loose without losing their kids. Book the Taster package with Black Ball Ferry Line, including ribs, shuttle, and ferry, from only $79. Or upgrade to Feast Mode for only $20 more and enjoy all-inclusive food and drinks for 2 hours. Visit cohoferry.com for details.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Daytime highs approaching 66 this afternoon under overcast skies with a slight chance of rain. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected again tonight. Lows dip down to about 52. High temperatures reach up to 64 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Ample sunshine and dry Thursday and Friday. Upper 60s Thursday, mid 70s by Friday. A peek at the extended shows, 76 Saturday, 73 Sunday, and 72 on Monday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 61.
We're into the final 6 weeks of the baseball season. The Brewers blanked the Cubs yesterday 7-0. Freddie Peralta and the Flintstones tossing a 2-hitter.
I think that we are in the spot that we need to be. We're hungry to keep winning games and play the game in the right way.
Milwaukee now 32-5 since the All-Star break, 8 games ahead of Chicago in the NL Central. The scheduled nightcap of their split doubleheader was rained out, so they'll try it again today and tonight. Tigers shut out the Astros 10-0 in a matchup of AL division leaders. Jack Flaherty and the Flares scattered 5 hits, backed up by 4 home runs. Phillies torpedoed the Mariners 12-7. Bryce Harper had 2 of their 4 dingers. Trey Turner went deep among his 4 hits. He drove in 5. Cardinals snapped a 5-game skid with an 8-3 win over the Marlins. Rockies rallied past the Dodgers 4-3 for their 4th win in a row. Royals trimmed the Rangers 4-3. Pirates bounced the Blue Jays 5-2. Orioles ripped the Red Sox 6-3. Gunnar Henderson with a homer and an RBI triple. The Reds led off 3 different innings with triples in a 4-1 win over the Angels. White Sox jumped ahead early, then held off the Braves 13-9. Guardians down the Diamondbacks 3-1, and the Giants edged the Padres 4-3. NFL preseason week 2 wrapped up with the Bengals zipping past the Commanders 31-17. 3 second quarter TD passes, one by Joe Burrow, the other 2 from Jake Browning to Mitchell Tinsley. Final week of preseason games comes up Thursday through Saturday. Opening night is less than 3 weeks away. September 4th, the Cowboys at the Super Bowl champion Eagles. That's Tuesday Sports.
Campfires, road trips, late-night stories, and early morning hikes. During RV Country's Labor Day sales event, your next adventure is waiting for you. Choose from a huge selection of new and used RVs perfect for families big or small. Trade in your old RV, get easy on-the-spot financing, and check out our Labor Day deals. Like this 2025 Odyssey for $568 a month, or this 2025 Little Buggy for $172 a month. The adventure of a lifetime is waiting for you at all RV Country locations.
Hi, this is Mike from American Rare Coin and Gold in Sequim. Do you have a house project needs doing but lacking the funds? Now is a great time to sell gold, silver, or rare coins. Prices are at an all-time high. We love to buy coin collections, gold and silver jewelry and bullion. We even help with entire estates. You could be sitting on a literal gold mine. Come see me, Mike, at American Rare Coin and Gold in Sequim. Call 360-968-4943.
Clallam PUD is now offering rebates on the purchase of Energy Star washers and dryers. Energy Star certified appliances save energy and money as they meet strict energy efficiency specifications. The rebates will be applied as a credit to your utility bill. Visit clallampud.net for more information or to submit an application. You will need to provide your purchase receipt. Clallam PUD, bringing energy to life.
Want a garden that grows like a champ without the fake stuff? Meet True Organic at the Co-op in Sequim. True Organic is 100% organic fertilizer that gives your fruits, flowers, veggies, and herbs the nutrients they crave without synthetic junk or low-quality fillers. Plus, it's people and pet-friendly, so no worries when Fifi and Fido get to fraw lickin'. And right now, 4-pound bags are just $12.99. Give your garden the love it deserves with the True Organic fertilizer from the Co-op Farm and Garden in Sequim.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Just ahead of Wall Street's closing bell, things are not looking good on Wall Street, with shares of AI chipmaker NVIDIA down 3%, leading to a sell-off in other AI and tech companies. Now, the Dow is only down a small fraction, but the tech-heavy NASDAQ down 1.5%. And the S&P 500 down 0.2%. There are gainers, though, like Home Depot. Those shares up around 3% after a rebound in sales during the spring second quarter, thanks to smaller home improvement and lawn projects. Also, shares of the struggling U.S. chipmaker Intel up nearly 7%. The Trump administration confirmed it's looking to take a 10% stake in that company. Meantime, Japanese tech giant SoftBank plans to invest $2 billion into Intel. And a newly revealed list on the Federal Register shows late last week the president widened his tariffs on imports of steel and aluminum to include more than 400 consumer items, including motorcycles, tableware, furniture components, baby carriages, and more. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's get a last check of the noontime traffic next.
Are you tossing and turning every night, waking up with pains you know shouldn't be there? Most likely, the culprit is your bed. And right now at Angelus Furniture, during the Labor Day event, you can fix that with huge savings on a new mattress. Save up to $500 on a new Sealy, up to $700 on a new Tempur-Pedic, or up to $800 off a Stearns & Foster mattress. Save yourself from extra aches and pains during the Labor Day mattress event, going on now through September 9th at Angelus Furniture.
Growing your family is an exciting journey, and the labor and delivery team at Olympic Medical Center is here to walk it with you. Our team tailors your birthing experience with you, offering the choice and security you're looking for from the comfort of OMC's Birth Center. Learn more about OMC's team of obstetricians, nurse midwives, RNs, lactation consultants, and more at olympicmedical.org/Stork Squad.
News Radio KONP, traffic and roads.
Back at the Clallam Transit Dispatch Center with that's where Steve's standing by. He's got one last look at the noontime road and traffic for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, kind of a busy afternoon out there right now. If you're in either Port Angeles or Sequim, you're going to just find a lot of traffic out there. Downtown Port Angeles area, 1st Street, Front Street, busy. Also, Sequim along Washington Street, Sequim Avenue, those areas, just a lot of traffic out there right now. If you're on the highway between the two cities, you should be doing good. It is busy. A little slowdowns to our construction area, Lee's Creek and Baker Dip. Probably a good idea to watch your speeds to those areas. Tonight they're going to be getting some girders set up, so that's going to narrow the road even more. So just be aware of that later on this evening. If you're headed beyond Sequim, Hood Canal Bridge, currently good to go. We do have a scheduled open a little later on this afternoon, but right now we're fine. State ferries are running on time today. Now, if you're headed out to the west end, just got a little issue out there right now. We have a one-vehicle accident out there at Lake Crescent, about milepost 224, 225, which is pretty close to the La Puelle area, I guess. Expect delays. It just happened. We got a lot of help speeding their way out there right now to help take care of whatever happened out there. So expect delays around the Lake Crescent area here for the next short while, probably about an hour or so, as they take care of the people out there. So everybody be safe out there, watch your speeds, and enjoy your afternoon. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Another update, not till tomorrow morning. We have an early Mariner game, so no afternoon reports on the traffic. Right now, temperature-wise, 68 in Port Townsend, 69 in Sequim, and 64 here in Port Angeles. Well, the Cambridge Dictionary adding thousands of new entries, including many trendy words popular on social media. Correspondent Lawrence Brooks has more on some of the 6,000 new additions.
What the skibbity is happening to the English language? Skibbity is one of the slang terms made popular by social media that are among more than 6,000 words added this year to the Cambridge Dictionary. Another planned addition is tradwife, a contraction of traditional wife, referring to a married mother who cooks, cleans, and posts on social media. And delulu, a shortening of the word delusional that means believing things that are not real or true, usually because you choose to. And honestly, you'd be forgiven for feeling a bit delulu about skibbity, a gibberish term coined by the creator of an animated YouTube series that can mean cool or bad or be used with no real meaning as a joke. An increase in remote working since the pandemic has created the new dictionary entry Mouse Jiggler, a device or piece of software used to make it seem like you're working when you're really just binge watching Netflix. One thing's for sure, the English language is skibbitying in ways no one saw coming.
Here's something that I thought I'd never say. Traffic to the world's largest pornographic websites is actually down, and you won't believe what's driving it. I'm Kim Commando for ExpressVPN. If you want real online privacy, it's just one click away with ExpressVPN. Get 4 months free today at expressvpn.com/Kim. The number of people going to porn sites plummeted where age verification is required, like all of the United Kingdom. The ACLU, Electronic Frontier Foundation, Center for Democracy and Technology, Free Speech Coalition, and all the other usual suspects who support online porn under the guise of free speech are running for cover. But facts are facts. Major adult websites like Pornhub in England, Scotland, and Ireland have experienced almost a 50% drop in traffic after age verification rolled out. It's not just kids. Adults who don't want to leave a record of their online porn activity are on the list too. So ignore the noise. Age verification works. Today, you need to be tech ahead. Sign up for my newsletter at getkim.com. Every time you go online, internet providers track your every move. Here in the United States, they're selling our browsing history, even in private mode. Until that becomes illegal, protect yourself like I do with ExpressVPN, an easy-to-use app that encrypts and reroutes all your internet traffic through secure servers. By using ExpressVPN, my internet provider cannot see my browsing history. I can hide my IP address, the number identifying me, and my location online. And I can change my IP address to be more anonymous online. With servers in over 100 countries, I can appear virtually anywhere I choose. ExpressVPN is so easy to use. Get connected with a single button, with apps for every device like phones, laptops, desktops, and tablets. Get up to 4 months of ExpressVPN for free at expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. Go now while you're thinking about it. Get up to 4 extra months of ExpressVPN for free right now at expressvpn.com/Kim.
I'm John Tesh, and coming up, there's been a boom in sales for life insurance policies, wills, and trusts. I'm going to tell you why younger adults under age 35 have been getting their affairs in order. Next, in today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
If you have back-to-school shopping to do, then you should make Macy's your first stop, because Macy's has back-to-school styles from brands like Nike and Jordan, must-have denim from Levi's and Good American, and now Macy's has Abercrombie Kids too. It's all in one place, all at great prices. And here's another reason to come in. If you're already at Macy's and you saved so much, you could stop by the fragrance counter and pick up something for yourself too. The best back-to-school styles are here now at Macy's.
So we now know the events of the last couple of years have spurred a lot of people to finally buy life insurance and to create wills and trusts, because people aren't feeling invincible anymore. They're coming to terms with their mortality and they want to be prepared. And it's not just senior citizens, by the way. The number of life insurance applications from people under age 44 skyrocketed by a full 20% last year. And Gentrio, an online estate planning platform, saw a 200% increase in people creating wills. One more thing. A survey by LegalZoom.com found that 32% of people drafting wills last year were between the ages of 18 and 34 years old. And if you're young, by the way, life insurance isn't as expensive as you may think. It's less than you pay annually for a Netflix subscription. I'm John Tesh with today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
Today on the TO Show, Peninsula College President Susie Ames joins us. We'll also meet the new resident physicians for the Rural Training Program with Dr. Michael Waters, and Amanda Bacon chats with Netflix director Joe Berlinger about his latest true crime documentary, The Son of Sam Tapes.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
Get more out of every job with Bobcat equipment from Bremen Carlsberg.
From grading and digging to loading and hauling, Bobcat loaders are built to help you do more with unbeatable control and comfort. Right now, get financing as low as 0% APR or choose cash rebates up to $9,000 on select compact track loader models. Visit Brim in Carlsberg today to take advantage of these limited time offers. Some restrictions apply, length of contract and rate may vary. Offer ends August 31st, 2025.
Celebrating 80 years of trusted news and local connections. This is News Radio KONP Port Angeles Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The White House says there have been 465 arrests in Washington, D.C. since President Trump announced the takeover of the D.C. police force and deployed National Guard troops.
Dressed in their camouflage fatigues, the National Guard troops are now patrolling 10 Metro transit stations, assisting the subway system's own police department as hundreds of thousands of commuters, visitors, and students head where they're going. Tennessee is now the sixth Republican-led state to send its troops to D.C., pushing the total number of National Guardsmen in the district over 2,000. For the most part, they're being stationed in high-profile, low-crime areas mainly populated by tourists. For now, the troops remain unarmed, though we're told that could change.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. Russia carried out fresh attacks on Ukraine just hours after President Trump held key talks at the White House with Ukraine's President Zelensky and European leaders yesterday on efforts to end the war, and his summit Friday with Russia's leader in Alaska. The president says any security guarantees for Ukraine will not involve U.S. boots on the ground.
President Trump wasn't specific when he spoke about the U.S. contributing to Ukraine's security after the war, but the White House today indicated that could come through air support. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt didn't rule out U.S. pilots or aircraft being involved, supporting Ukrainian and European forces.
U.S. boots will not be on the ground in Ukraine, but we can certainly help in the coordination and perhaps provide other means of security guarantees to our European allies. The president understands security guarantees are crucially important to ensure a lasting peace.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
The American Soybean Association sent a letter to the White House today calling on the president to make soybeans in the U.S.-China trade talks a priority. ASA President Caleb Ragland says soybean farmers are under extreme financial stress and warns that retaliatory tariffs are shutting American farmers out of their biggest export market heading into the 2025 harvest. You're listening to ABC News.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left? I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped. Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Interest rates and home prices still high, and that has many homeowners staying put. But they're also sprucing things up a bit.
Home Depot says homeowners are putting off the bigger high capital projects like kitchen renovations and focusing on smaller, less expensive home repairs, which is helping the retailer's bottom line. The company's share price jumped 3% after reporting profits that were a little shy of what analysts had expected. What got traders buying was the fact that Home Depot stood by its earlier forecast for revenue and profit over the full year, not lowering it as some other companies have done recently. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The Republican-led House Oversight Committee chair says the Justice Department missed today's deadline to comply with a subpoena requesting all documents in the Jeffrey Epstein case be turned over, but the DOJ records will be ready, he says, on Friday. ABC's Alex Mallon says the committee has issued subpoenas to former attorneys general, including Bill Barr, who appeared for a closed-door deposition yesterday.
It's really unclear, for instance, why they didn't subpoena former FBI Director Chris Wray among all of the former attorneys general and former FBI directors that they did subpoena. It's also unclear why they didn't subpoena former Attorney General Gonzalez, who was actually the Attorney General at the time that Jeffrey Epstein inked his so-called sweetheart plea deal that allowed him to escape federal prosecution back in the 2000s.
Epstein died by suicide in jail while awaiting his sex trafficking trial. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Your enjoyment starts now with all the colors of the season at everyone's favorite haven, Airport Garden Center. Airport Garden Center opened for business in 1977 as a pet, plant, and feed store by Eldora and Floyd Matthews. The family-run operations continue as Betsy and Mark Matthews lovingly run the business to this day. Their family provides your family quality service and products for a fun pet and child-friendly shopping atmosphere. Looking for a special, unique gift? Airport Garden Center is proud to support locally sourced items like Full Moon Candles and Pacific Rain Shadow Farms handcrafted soap and Miss B Apiary Honey. And we love helping you plan each season by offering monthly special savings. Go to airportgarden.biz for current specials or just stop on by the store on Edgewood Drive. Airport Garden Center. Planting knowledge. Growing gardeners since 1977.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results, 457-6600. Clallam County Commissioners weighing a letter to the Jamestown S'Klallam tribe seeking a formal agreement on the impacts of land taken into federal trust. Each conversion removes property from the county tax rolls. Commissioners say they want to open up discussions, pointing to a new payment in lieu of taxes deal between the county, the Quileute tribe, and the city of Forks as a possible model. Clallam County PUD getting the Washington State Auditor's Stewardship Award, citing a decade of strong audits, transparency, and accountability. State Auditor Pat McCarthy presented the award last week at PUD headquarters.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Slight chance for rain this afternoon, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 66, northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows level off around 52 tonight, cloudy skies. Daytime highs approaching 64 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Ample sunshine and dry Thursday and Friday, upper 60s Thursday, mid 70s by Friday. Take a look at the extended forecast, 76 Saturday, 73 Sunday, and 72 on Monday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 67 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
And welcome once again to the show. Got a lot to cover today in the first half of the program. Always great to have Susie Ames, Dr. Susie Ames from up at Peninsula College, the president there, to join us, talk about what's going on up there. It's been a couple of months, actually, since we've had you on, so welcome back. Good to see you, Susie.
Always good to be here.
And lots to talk about. If people have been following the news, there's a few big things going on with you, not only getting ready for the next academic year as well. But first thing, you wanted to talk a bit about kind of the status on federal funding. Since we last talked, things were a bit in limbo. You weren't sure what that meant. Sounds like things might be looking better than they were.
Yeah, much better. And I think I was probably pretty doomsday when I was here last time. And things surprisingly turned out much better than we had thought.
So specifically, what happened, I guess, that got you in a better spot?
Two big changes that came out of Congress. One was there was an unexpected budget freeze on our adult basic education. This is money that would normally just be appropriated by Congress, would come to us every July 1, just not even a second thought. And on June 31st or 30th, we heard all of a sudden that across the country, $7 billion in funding was just frozen. And the reason it was frozen was I'll be pretty honest, it was pretty appalling. The Office of Management and Budget said that it was being frozen so that the federal government could assess whether these dollars were using, quote, for a radical left-wing agenda. And so, local rural college, I can tell you exactly what we're using these dollars for. We're using them to provide an education for local residents adults who dropped out of high school and they need to come back and get their high school diploma, a program you and I have talked extensively about. and a program to teach English as a second language, which for here, we have a lot of Ukrainian refugees who are escaping the war overseas, and they're landing here, and we want to be able to provide them English language education. That's what we've been using the federal money for years and years and years and years, and to have it frozen was devastating, potentially devastating. And they reviewed it, they assessed it, they determined
you're
that
okay.
we're not using it for a radical left-wing agenda. And we got the money. We got the money 2 weeks ago. So it was held for 7 weeks.
Okay.
And
how much is that for you?
for us, it's about $260,000, which is not a lot dollar amount, but what we do at Peninsula College for that money serves hundreds of students. And we literally we're trying to figure out how we were gonna, I don't know, cut the program in half and where we would find the other half of the money. I just cut $2.2 million from my budget. So there is no other bucket of money I could have dipped into.
Because this comes right on the heels of all of the state issues that you were facing that we talked about earlier this spring.
Literally. So dollar amount, tiny amount, $260,000 percentage-wise, then the impact was going to be huge. So huge relief. It's now flowing, and we'll cross this bridge next June 31st.
There's going to be it's going to come up again, I would imagine, right?
I don't
At
know.
this point,
I don't know. But we're just taking it one day at a time and just thrilled it got released.
Okay. I'm going to go back and talk kind of a little bit about how the budget shapes up now for you generally since we last talked.
Yeah. So another threat that had been proposed in Congress was, I think we talked about it last time, really devastating cuts to financial aid. And I'm thrilled to say none of those came to fruition. They were proposed by the Trump administration, and Congress restored them, and they kept things status quo. And they actually gave us something we've been asking for years and years, which is something called Workforce Pell. So this would make it so a student would be eligible for the Pell Grant, which is a federally funded, very lucrative grant that you don't have to pay back. But it's specifically now eligible for short-term job training programs. So the one I like to think of most often is commercial truck driving. So that's an 8-week program that doesn't lead to a degree, and it used to not be eligible for Pell. So now, once we go through some hoops and get some boxes checked with the federal government.
So somebody could get a Pell Grant and do commercial truck driving, basically.
Soon they will. We don't have the full approval from the feds yet for the college. They have to write their rules, and then we'll align our program to match. But now, for the first time, you can get a Pell Grant for a short-term job training program as long as it leads to a good job.
And as you mentioned, this is something you've been wanting for a while. So in some ways, we've been
asking for years for Workforce Pell, and thrilled that we got it, and we didn't get all the other
How in the world
bad
does
stuff.
that happen when you're in the midst of everything's going to get cut? Then you get something you haven't been able to get.
I stopped looking.
Federal government.
I stopped looking for logic. I'm just
don't try to understand
super
it.
thrilled. We're going to be able
So
to.
and you had mentioned that there was some major financial aid things that were on the hook.
There were proposals that would have been devastating to community college students across the country.
Yeah.
So they didn't come to fruition this time.
All right. So that's good.
Yeah.
And it all, I'm assuming, then has come together with this sort of news heading into the next, so it wasn't going to derail things heading into what would be fall term.
Right.
Basically.
There is still one more shoe waiting to drop, and that is the budget that's currently being debated in Washington, D.C. that will go into effect October 1. And the Senate Appropriations Committee met last week. We'd been warned to prepare for a 30% cut in higher education, and community colleges came out with zero cut in the House Appropriations Committee, Senate Appropriations Committee. Now it'll go to the House. We'll see what they come up with, and then it'll go to what we call a conference committee, and they'll battle out House versus Senate. But at least those negotiations will come with a high water mark of zero cuts, which we will celebrate and hopefully hold firm on the House side.
So really, so far, excellent news for you as opposed to what it might have been just 6 weeks ago or so, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're just really thrilled that we're faring much better than the proposals would have caused just some pure devastation.
All right. Okay. So that said, you have some other exciting things that have happened. If people have been following the news, in fact, the last week or so, we announced that and we had talked about this was coming, but now it's official. A K through 8 program at Peninsula College. You can become a teacher and not leave the area.
That's the whole point.
Right. So explain what this means, how this is going to work.
Yeah.
And it's rolling, right? As of now.
It's rolling. You can register now. And we've been talking about it preliminarily, like, well, we can't really advertise this. We can't say it's official. We were in a very lengthy accreditation process at the state level. And July 28th, I think, we got approval. And my team was pretty sure we were going to get approval, and we had all of our ducks in a row. So the day after we got accreditation approval, it's on our website. You can enroll now. We can market and promote it. It's going to be a very popular degree. We already had many students on our campus taking what they thought would be the prerequisites, so they'll be ready to enroll in the fall.
They'll just kind of roll into this, right?
Yeah, there's a few prerequisites, mostly in the early childhood education field. The idea that we're going to be able to grow our own teachers is super exciting.
So explain this program for us. I mean, it's no different when you're done with this than if you were to go to, Western or something like that and get a similar degree.
We are accredited by the same organization, so it is a full-fledged education degree, just like you would get at Western's super high-quality program. You don't get accredited unless it's going to be a high-quality program.
So you'll come out of here with a Peninsula College. What is it, a BA? What does it end up with?
An applied bachelor's degree.
Okay.
And it's applied because it directly applies to a job. And those are the bachelor's degrees that community colleges are allowed to offer.
Okay, right.
So K through 8. So we'll be able to grow our own teachers. I know we'll have paraeducators that want to take that next step to be a full-fledged teacher. I also know we'll have kids coming out of high school who want to grow up. They want to live here as an adult, and they want to give back to their community, and they don't want to have to go away to a university to get a bachelor's degree and to get a really good livable wage job and continue living in a rural environment.
Now, like everything, you looked at this, there's a need for it. This is intended to fill a void locally.
Yeah. I got here 3 years ago, almost to the day, and this has been a repeated request from superintendents. Not so much in Sequim and Port Angeles. They have a pretty good track record of recruiting and retaining teachers. But beyond that border, it drops off precipitously. If you imagine trying to recruit someone to go work in the Quileute Valley School District in Forks, and you've never lived in Forks or in a rural area, you might take a leap and take the job because maybe it's your first teaching experience and you want to cut your teeth on it, and you're probably not going to stay. Right. And the school district invested so much time and effort into getting you prepared to be a good teacher, and then to have you leave and they have to start over again is really devastating. So the idea that we can grow our own. So you grew up on the West End, and now you can go be a teacher on the West End. We have the Quileute Tribal School. We have the Cape Flattery School District. We have a large population of Native American students. We can grow our own Native American teachers who have grown up with the culturally responsive teaching and continue that education while they're in our program too.
Right. And that's the barrier coming back this way. The other barrier is, people not being able to perhaps afford to go away. Right. Maybe they always wanted to be a teacher and they did want to come back. They would have to go to a different place to do this for 4 years.
The idea being, living in a dorm, going away to university works for some students, but not everybody. And the idea that you can get a very, very affordable 2-year degree right here.
So how does this fit on the campus? I mean, explain how you do this program. I mean,
it's hybrid. Okay. So there'll be some online classes, there'll be some in-person classes, and then there'll be a lot of hands-on teaching in our local schools. Okay. So student teaching is something that's been a program that's been up and running for years and years, with other university students coming here to student teach. Now student teachers from Peninsula College will be able to do hands-on practice while they're in school.
And you can't beat the price because you're going to be paying tuition levels that are more like Peninsula College tuition as opposed to going to university.
Yeah, the first 2 years will be at the community college rate, right. And the junior and senior year will be at the regional college rate, the same rate you'd pay at Western or Central.
But that's only 2 years of that.
Correct.
And you're living here.
That's right. Exactly.
So there's that as well. Well, congrats on getting that finally going. And any notion, it sounds like it's already pretty popular.
I think it's going to fill.
Yeah. So,
and for a program to fill the first year out of the gate just shows you how much pent-up demand there is.
Right. So people should contact the college if they're at all interested.
Yeah, they can. If they've met their prereqs, they can get started in the fall, which is just a couple weeks away. And if not, you can learn what the prereqs are and you can get started on those and be ready to enroll in the program when you've met those requirements. As I said, most of them are a few early childhood education classes.
Right. All right. Let's talk about another big piece of news. You were reaccredited just recently, that's a huge thing. And you kind of alluded to this going on because this is a process that takes a bit of time.
Yeah, it's a multiple year process. Yeah. It's called regional accreditation. So all public colleges and universities across the country are regionally accredited. And it's a big deal, and it's a requirement if you want to get federal funding. If you want to be able to offer federal financial aid, you have to be regionally accredited. And it's a super rigorous process where you do a whole bunch of self-assessment reports and you file them with the commission. And then every year, a team of people come on your campus for multiple days, and they go around interviewing everybody from my bosses to students and employees to evaluate whether what we say in these reports is actually true for the people that we're trying to serve. And to say we hit this one out of the park is an understatement. We really nailed the evaluation. And what was super inspiring to me was the things that the evaluators called out are things that you and I have been talking about that are just so true to who I am and who we want PC to be. They recognized us for our intentional outreach, partnership, and community building. They talked about our culture of respect and collaborative decision-making. They talked about our data-driven, transparent, and inclusive decision-making. Just super cool things that just mean we're a really positive, happy place to work, which means students are going to have a really positive experience.
And congrats that was reflective. I know that's been a culture change you've been intentional about since you came on board now a few years, but I think it's taken hold.
This was an external test to
see if it really was, if it wasn't just us through our filters, right?
Yeah, I'm always being called Pollyanna. It could have easily been my rose-colored glasses, but here's a team of external experts who told us what they saw and what they heard, and it was definitely a highlight of my career.
I thought it was interesting because, like any of these things, they always have to find something they need to improve on, and the things they pointed out that you needed to improve on really were not. I mean, they were kind of like really ethereal sort of things, I thought.
And there are things we're already working on, which is even better. It's overall, it's student learning outcome assessment is the fancy term for it. But how do we know students are learning? And are we documenting that they're learning? And if they're not learning to the standard that we would hope they would, how are we making changes and documenting those changes? So it's that whole continuous process improvement.
Which is something you do anyway.
It is, and almost every college gets called out on this because it's really
I'm going to tell you, especially at a collegiate level, because it's not like you have a standardized testing program or something like that, like you do in a public school, for example.
And the assessment looks different for a welding instructor than it does for an English instructor. And so, like I said, it's work that we were already doing. It's not a bad thing that it was called out as a recommendation. It's just going to help us get even better.
Well, congrats, because it was about the only thing that got called out, I think, in the whole thing, right?
It was the only thing.
So I think that's great. And, the community should be proud of that in general, because I keep saying it's a gem we have up there on the hill here in Port Angeles that I think a lot of people still are learning about what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, fall enrollment is looking really strong.
That was my next question. So you're just chugging right along again?
We're chugging right. We were first in the state again. In FTE.
Okay, but it was all fine, because last time we talked, they hadn't quite.
I know
you hadn't quite got. You said, I think we are.
The numbers came out again. We are neck and neck with Clover Park Technical College.
Interesting.
First or second in a variety of categories, and just beyond thrilled and proud of the Peninsula College employees.
Now, on the flip side of that, I mean, you kind of get into this double-edged sword thing when you get enrollment to a certain. We've talked about this in the past. Are you looking okay as far as cut points and things like that? Because you only grow so big before you have to hire some people, and you can't hire some people unless you get so big. It's a chicken and egg thing.
It is. We spent an inordinate amount of money in our instructional division last year. $2 million over what we'd budgeted.
Wow. But
we also budgeted for flat enrollment. And so when we get all that extra tuition money, it becomes a bit of a wash. But think about all of the part-time faculty members that we hired as we added extra English sections and extra math sections. We were trying to find math teachers out of the woodwork just so that we can continue to meet the demand. And we're doing the same thing for fall. We don't know where the ceiling is. We don't know where the cap is for a small town to be serving a static number of students. Clearly, we haven't hit it yet, so we're just going to keep on growing until we do.
We're going on 3 years of me asking the same question, you sitting over there and saying, yeah, it's bigger than it was last year. It's bigger than it was. So I don't know.
We're still there.
All right. Well,
yep. The trajectory, the bar chart is continuing to climb.
We'll
and
just keep rowing, I guess. There you go.
Yep.
All right. Well, you're doing great stuff up there. And look, it's, here we are. It's almost time for school to start again for real.
Yeah,
so
a couple weeks.
We'll chat some more next time about what fall really looks like. All right.
Sounds great.
All right. That's Susie Ames. She is the president up at Peninsula College. Always great to talk with her about some good news that's happening from PC here. And we'll take a break. We're going to talk about, I guess, another thing educational. We have the new rural resident doctors are in town. The new the cohort, as they're called, have arrived. We're going to introduce you to them. They're working through Known, and we'll do that right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Bathfitter is celebrating 42,000 installations in Western Washington by offering you monthly payments as low as $125 a month.
Hooray!
Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Choose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This offer won't last long.
Hello, this is Katie McCormick with Squim Valley and Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapels. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a new, exciting, and environmentally friendly development in the funeral industry. It's called Natural Organic Reduction, or terramation. Perhaps you've heard of it. Terramation is a process in which the body, after death, is returned to the earth in a carbon-neutral, eco-friendly manner. The process takes place in a controlled environment, and all that remains is a natural, odorless, compost-like material. If you would like more information about terramation and advanced planning, call us today at Harper Ridgeview in Port Angeles or Squim Valley Chapel in Squim, and one of our knowledgeable and caring funeral professionals will assist you in answering your questions. Harper Ridgeview and Squim Valley Funeral Chapels, because your loved ones deserve the best.
Whether you're a homeowner, investor, or first-time buyer, understanding our market is essential. Here to provide a little insight on the local real estate market is May Graves.
As always, thank you, Todd. This is your monthly market minute for July 2025. In Port Angeles, we sold 38 homes. Median days on market, just 13. Median home price, $438,000, which is down from the previous month. 10 of the 38 homes sold for full price or more, and 9 of the 38 homes sold to cash buyers. Here we go for Squim. We sold 61 homes. Median days on market, 28, which is way up. Median home price, $560,000, which is down a bit from the previous month. 24 of the 61 homes sold for full price or more. 19 of the 61 homes sold to cash buyers. If you want more information, call me. It's May Graves, 360-461-1922.
Campfires, road trips, late night stories, and early morning hikes. During RV Country's Labor Day sales event, your next adventure is waiting for you. Choose from a huge selection of new and used RVs perfect for families big or small. Trade in your old RV, get easy on-the-spot financing, and check out our Labor Day deals. Like this 2025 Odyssey for $568 a month, or this 2025 Little Buggy for $172 a month. The adventure of a lifetime is waiting for you at all RV Country locations.
Picture this: a warm summer evening, great company, and the perfect deck beneath your feet. If you're looking to build a deck, or your current deck is showing its age, it's time for an upgrade. And your favorite employee-owned stores, Angel's Millwork and Hartnagel's, are here to help. Our employee owners don't just sell decking, we listen, guide, and make sure you get the perfect materials for your home, budget, and lifestyle. Looking for natural beauty? Cedar and Douglas fir decking bring warmth and real wood character, but they do require regular upkeep. Want low maintenance durability? Composite decking blends wood and plastics for long-lasting strength with minimal care. But maybe you need the ultimate in longevity. PVC decking comes with warranties of up to 50 years and requires little more than a simple rinse to stay looking great. See and feel the difference for yourself. Visit lumbertraders.com or stop by Angel's Millwork or Hartnagel's to talk with a decking specialist today. As always, we deeply appreciate you for shopping local and employee-owned.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. On the heels of the summit in Alaska between President Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin and the president's White House talks with Ukrainian President Zelensky and European leaders on a peace plan, Russia carried out fresh attacks in Ukraine. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Kyiv.
270 drones and 10 missiles fired overnight and this morning, hitting 16 different towns and cities across the country. Here, smoke billowing over the Ukrainian city of Kremenchuk today. The city's mayor reporting dozens of explosions, with Russia again targeting energy and transport facilities.
The White House says it's reviewing the ceasefire proposal that Hamas agreed to, outlined by Qatar and Egypt. Israel's prime minister now demanding all remaining hostages be released at once. John Deere is slashing 238 jobs from facilities in Illinois and Iowa. The farming equipment maker blaming the sluggish ad economy, leading to fewer orders. Hurricane Erin moving north in the Atlantic off the U.S., but still creating dangerous surf and rip current.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Slight chance for rain this afternoon, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 66, northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows level off around 52 tonight, cloudy skies. Daytime highs approaching 64 tomorrow, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Ample sunshine and dry Thursday and Friday, upper 60s Thursday, mid 70s by Friday. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 76 Saturday, 73 Sunday, and 72 on Monday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 67 degrees.
All right, so next segment, always fun to do. I do this every year. At least we try to, unless our residents are too busy and can't make it in. But we got two of the three that are coming through in the Rural Residents Program that Known has kind of sponsored many, many years. And actually, they have a new lead on that over at Known. We're going to talk first with Dr. Michael Waters, who's the Director of Medical Education there, and fittingly is helping guide through these residents who are showing up. So, Michael, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk first about, many people have listened to me do this show for years and years and years, but there's a lot of people who haven't. And this is a unique program that you have young doctors who are coming to town to take their final turn and really take a dip at rural medicine.
Exactly, yeah. So this was started by Dr. Rob Epstein. I just took over as the program director here just this past July. And the program was started back in 2017 with our first class. Initially, it was just 2 doctors would come out per year. They finished medical school. They are physicians, but they're doing 3 years to become kind of board-certified family medicine physicians, where they can cradle to grave, take care of babies all the way to older folks, deliver babies in the hospital, take care of people in the hospital, kind of do all sorts of things. So they spend their first year over in Seattle at Swedish Medical Center doing a number of rotations that we can't offer here. And then they come out at the start of their second year, and they're both in the clinic at North Olympic Healthcare Network, where I'm sort of based out of. And then we also train them at Olympic Medical Center for delivering babies, taking care of people in the ICU and the medicine wards. So we think it's a pretty comprehensive training. We definitely need doctors in rural areas, including this area. I think one of the goals when this program started back when Dr. Epstein got things going was to hopefully have more doctors stay in the area, as well as go to other communities that are rural and really need physicians. And we're happy to say that we've been having quite a few stay in the community, which is super exciting.
I had your boss, Dr. Maxwell, on last week, and he had mentioned that, you get 6 or so of them have stuck around.
It'll be, and I think in about a year's mark, it'll be around that. I think we'll have.
Which is amazing, actually.
Yeah, 4 at North Olympic, 1 at Jamestown, and then there will be 1 who starts with Olympic Medical Center's outpatient group.
One of the things I talked with Dr. Epstein about this all the time was that, and the reason he pushed to get this going was it's modeled after something that's on the East Coast, but there really wasn't anything quite like this, and, kind of get greedy a little bit to get, let's just do this and get people to come here and see that Port Angeles in this area is great. If you want to do rural medicine, why not in a wonderful spot?
No, we definitely think, it's a beautiful area to train. Our residents work really hard, but when they have some free time, we got the mountains, the ocean, and our residents like to take advantage of that.
Right. Now, it's important to note, as you mentioned, they're doctors. I mean, they're able to do everything you're able to do over at Known and called on to do it as well, but it's really just a chance to get some experience in a different setting.
Yeah, and we're kind of refining and getting them extra experience in certain procedures. They've maybe had some exposure to doing a vasectomy or a circumcision, but out here we're really getting that volume in, making sure they're comfortable with the procedures that they want to carry forward into their practice, as well as certain patient populations. We send our residents out to the jail. We have a lot of addiction medicine really trying to help in all our members of the community. That whole cradle to grave family medicine, one of the unique specialties where we take care of kind of everyone.
One of the issues, and I don't know if this has changed in medicine or not, but specialties used to be the draw, and that was one of the problems getting your old general family physician to come to a rural area because everybody was going into specialty practice. Still an issue. I mean, I don't call it an issue, but a hurdle.
It's definitely still a hurdle. I think there's a subset of people who are passionate about family medicine, and we feel fortunate to get great doctors coming out here. But across the nation, there's still, I think, not enough folks going into primary care. So that still is very much an issue. Compensation is one of the things. It's not as high, so that's a factor as well. Right. And rural areas aren't for everyone, but I love it out here personally.
Yeah, so you stuck around, here you are, right?
Yeah.
So one of the people in the studio nodding at everything you just said will be who we'll talk to next, okay? And that's Dr. Paul Amoreno. Did I get that right?
Yeah, Dr. Amoreno.
Okay, let's talk a bit about that, because you were nodding. You said, getting people to go away from, I guess making their specialty be rural medicine is still kind of an issue.
Yeah, I think generally people don't like to go into primary care for these concerns about either compensation or prestige or, whatever, these sort of like things that don't really impact your day-to-day, and I think. Family medicine is the only thing that really allows you to do this broad spectrum and take care of everybody kind of cradle to grave. At my med school, even with a lot of people liking to go into family medicine, nobody really wanted to go on the rural tracks. I was the only person who volunteered to go to this rural experience, did it for 8 or 9 months straight, and it was the best decision I made in med school.
Had that been always a plan for you, or is this something that kind of evolved for you as you went through med school?
I knew I always wanted to do rural. I grew up in rural Appalachia, and then after that I moved out into the rural desert down in Joshua Tree, California. Lived there for 9 years and was looking to go to the Northwest, and was fortunate to get into med school out in Yakima. And was super happy to match here for residency. I mean, this was the goal. So,
how do you match? Tell us about how you get into the program on your side of it.
That's a complicated process that could take an entire show. But basically, you apply to a bunch of places, you rank them, and they rank you based on interviews, and a computer algorithm decides best fit, essentially. There's lots of things online people can look up if they want to see the process, but neither you nor the program gets to 100% say that that's what's happening. You just each make a rank list, and a computer chooses the best fit.
That's really interesting when you think about it in the long run. You're very happy, though. It sounds like that your rank met with their rank, and the computer agreed.
Yeah, this is where I wanted to be.
What do you do when you're not, being a doctor? There's some draw to being in a place like this, perhaps? You said you wanted to get to the Northwest. So
yeah, I mean, I love outdoors. Lots of kayaking, hiking, backpacking. But I also, I enjoy reading, and I enjoy doing tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, things like that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome to the community. We'll get back to you in just a minute. We're going to talk with the other cohort that we have in the room with us today, and that's Dr. Andrea Alfonsi. Andrea, thanks for coming in.
Of course.
Same question, I guess, that I asked Paul. What about rural medicine and, kind of going through med school? The tug of war, I guess, between something like rural medicine and a specialty.
Yeah, there's a lot of incentive to specialize. And I think I was the only person in my class in medical school that also wanted to do rural. And then family medicine, yeah, of the 170 in my class, 13 of us wanted to do family medicine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and that's a bigger issue, because that's probably not just in your med school. That's most of them. So the numbers are still not there for replacing a lot of doctors who are retiring, moving on to other things, that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah.
So tell me about your process of getting here for you.
Yeah, okay, so I did do a rotation in rural Western New York because I went to Buffalo, New York for medical school. That was really neat, and I saw the physician that I was training under, and I thought I want to be him, basically, from beginning to end of the lifespan. And let's see, I also did a rural rotation in Panama and another one in Costa Rica. And it cemented it. I really liked it, yeah.
So then you put in for this, and here you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I applied here, yes.
Was it this one of your top choices?
Yes.
Huh? See, we got a couple here that got their top choices in as well. Andrea, what's your favorite part, I guess, about doing this type of medicine?
Oh, man. What is it? I just want to know the person as a whole. That's the only way to do primary care, is that you know and you address everything, really. So that's my favorite part, not just limiting myself to one aspect of health.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Paul, you're nodding your head. That sounds like you agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's the idea of taking care of the patient as a whole person. And, one thing I try and focus on is making sure my patients feel empowered to kind of also take control of their health. And that's something I try and work on with them, is their own recognition of their health goals. And, primary care is set up for that, not just focusing on one thing.
All right. Andrea, I didn't ask what you like to do when you're not being a doctor. What gets you going?
There's an array of arts and crafts that I love. I also like designing video games. There's one that I'm designing that will teach kids how to be a doctor to dinosaurs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'm a kid at heart. I'll play it. So, how did you get started doing that as kind of a hobby?
Yeah, since I was a kid, I suppose I was kind of designing games without knowing it,
Okay.
I would take a little notebook and I would draw out plans and stuff, but I never learned how to code. I'm doing that now.
Right. AI can help you here and there and a few things
and there's
too,
all those tools now. Yeah.
Right. Plans after all of this is done. I mean, I think you both are sounding like you want to be in a rural setting, and that's where you want to practice when you're done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Would you stick around here yet?
I want to.
Okay. There you go. Paul, same thing, right?
My goal would be to stay around here, but I've experienced a lot of different parts of rural Washington, and I'm happy to go wherever I can. But I'd love to stay here.
All right. In your rotation so far that you've had, and it's not a fair question because you've just started here, but in the 2 years so far in this, any surprises? Anything that has been a surprise to you, Paul?
I don't know if I have a direct answer for that, honestly. You see a lot the first year, and just the hours alone are kind of a lot. I'd have to think on that. I don't think I'm prepared.
I think that's a good answer. I don't know, Andrea, anything that's been a surprise or more of an eye opener for you in the first bit?
A surprise about the region or
any of this, I guess, because I think it's a full package we're talking about, whether it's treating patients or where you're at.
Yeah, I'd say, the residency program that's mostly based in Seattle has a bunch of clinics, and they're all very geared towards a specific community. Mm-hmm. And people, they know I'm from Venezuela, and they were like, well, why didn't you go to, the Latin American-based community clinic? It might be less diverse in Port Angeles, but honestly, it's pretty diverse. There's a lot of people out here from all over the world.
Yeah,
So that
right.
was a nice surprise.
I'm glad you brought up Venezuela. I forgot to ask you where you came from originally. So there you go. Very cool. So you guys, what have you experienced so far since you've been in Port Angeles, as far as plugged into places? Pretty much at the clinic. I know we should talk about. We have a third that's over in the jail right now that I think Dr. Waters was going to talk about too. So
no, we do. One of our faculty, Dr. Monaghan, is board certified in addiction medicine. Has been working at our local jail for a long time, just in general primary care, but then also a lot of folks are struggling with substance use, and so our residents get a chance to train over there, and that's definitely a group of people that certainly need care, don't always get it, and so that's valuable training, and all our residents have the opportunity to spend some time over in the jail. So our third sort of second-year resident, Dr. Andres Gutierrez Gonzalez, who's not here because he's busy over there at the jail helping out folks and learning, working with Dr. Monaghan today.
Right. Have either of you had a shot over at the jail yet?
Yeah, I've had a shift over there. It's really enjoyable. I really enjoy working with that population.
Something you didn't get in your earlier rotations, I would imagine. Was that ever said? I mean, this has got to be a first, right?
Yeah, this is the first time. I didn't get an opportunity in medical school and haven't had an opportunity until recently here.
Andrea, never done a jail.
The last time I was in jail or prison, I was an EMT, so yes.
Okay.
It's been well.
All right. I should ask both of you, probably appropriate as we start running out of time. How did you get started in a career in medicine? Right? Have you always wanted to be a doctor?
Yeah. As a kid, I really liked those medical shows that showed like actual, especially Animal Planet. I used to watch a lot of veterinary shows. And I took a detour into veterinary medicine too. I got my first degree, got into veterinary school, but didn't start it. I changed my mind. I wanted to see humans. Yeah.
All right. So you were heading for an Animal Planet show, but you took a left and went back into medicine for us people. All right. Great. Paul, what about you? Have you always wanted to be a doctor?
No, I had a very circuitous route over to medicine, and it took me a long time to really get the message. There were lots of hints over about a 10-year span of little hints here, like, oh, I should go down this path, and then I'd acknowledge it and then ignore it and go do something else. And then didn't start med school till I was 32, so I'm a little bit behind in terms of age of a lot of people, but I definitely have enjoyed taking this longer route. It's proven beneficial in a lot of ways.
I bet. Yeah, the universe has this way of knocking you on the head eventually when you don't listen.
just took a while to get the message, but eventually I got it.
Very good. Well, welcome to our community. Looking forward to having you guys around for a long time. Perhaps we'll keep you guys there at and working after you're done with all of the residency stuff and your boards and all of that. So that's Dr. Andrea Alfonsi and Dr. Paul Amorano. I get it right. There are two of the three in the cohort that's here right now. And I'll go back just to you, Michael Waters, just to kind of put a wrap on this. These guys are going to be here for a year plus, right?
Close.
In this capacity.
Actually, slightly over 2 years. They come out and finish their sort of final month of first year's kind of introductory month, and then they've got pretty much a full 2 years, their second and third year out here in Port Angeles, and to just pack their brains as full as we can while also still enjoying life.
And it's helpful for you staffing-wise. I mean, you've got now some doctors that can plug in as needed if things get busy at Known, for example, right?
I mean, our residents see a lot of patients at Known, so it's helped expand our mission to really take care of the community, and they work hard in the hospital and see a lot of folks there and deliver a lot of babies, so they're helping all over. They're in the jail. We go out to Forks with a mobile clinic. Our residents are all over the peninsula, so we are grateful they are here.
All right. Dr. Michael Waters, thank you for coming in. We'll probably be seeing you now since you've taken this on, so this means you're obligated.
Yeah.
You know that.
Next year around this time. Sounds good, Todd.
And thanks to our residents as well. Thank you guys, and welcome again to the community. It's great to have you here. All right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to wrap things up with a bacon bit right after this.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hello, summer. The Wanda Fuqua Foundation for the Arts free summer concerts on the pier is back. Join us for some of music's brightest performers in a setting unlike anywhere else. From big band to rock, folk and soul, with some local favorites rounding out the series. New this year to Summer Concerts on the Pier, a beer and wine garden will help keep you cool as the music. The Summer Concerts on the Pier, every Wednesday night at the PA Pier. Go to jffa.org for all the details.
Do you know when your septic system was last inspected? Clallam County Environmental Health keeps those records and can tell you. Pumping your septic and complete septic inspections by licensed professionals are two very different things. State law requires inspections every 1 to 3 years, depending on the system you have. Get more information about your septic system and inspection requirements by calling Clallam County Environmental Health 360-417-2258 or by logging on to clallam.net/septic.
Losing a loved one is overwhelming. Your mind and your heart shut down. That's where Drennan & Ford Funeral Home and Crematory comes in. They took the burden off my family's shoulders and guided us through everything we needed to do. No pushy sales tactics or unanswered questions. They just held our hands and took care of everything we asked. That's why I will always recommend Drennan & Ford for end-of-life decisions. They handle the hurt like no one else can. Call 360-457-1210.
Hi, this is Mike from American Rare Coin and Gold in Squim. Do you have a house project needs doing but lacking the funds? Now is a great time to sell gold, silver, or rare coins. Prices are at an all-time high. We love to buy coin collections, gold and silver jewelry and bullion. We even help with entire estates. You could be sitting on a literal gold mine. Come see me, Mike, at American Rare Coin and Gold in Squim. Call 360-968-4943.
Craving the best burger in town? Head to the Firehouse Grill in Port Angeles for an elevated drive-thru experience.
I'm Trevor Shumway. We're family owned and serving the best burgers in town. And hand-breaded chicken, Philly cheesesteaks, and hand-scooped ice cream the old-fashioned way. Join us at Firehouse Grill Burgers and Fries, where great food and family come together.
We've got fresh food fast. Google Firehouse Grill and order ahead.
Firehouse Grill Burgers and Fries. Proud to support the community.
Time for our weekly Bacon Bit, when Amanda Bacon sits down with some folks, talk about what's going on in their world today. Joe Berlinger, the director of the new Netflix doc, Conversations with a Killer, the Son of Sam tapes.
Good morning, Joe.
Hey, how are you? How are things in Seattle? One of my favorite places.
Really?
Yes, I love Seattle.
It's been really warm.
I'm here too.
So I hate scary movies, but I love true crime. And this, I'm really looking forward to watching this part in this series. I've watched the other ones, and now we're talking about Son of Sam, which is crazy to me that he's still alive. Like, in my head, this was ancient history, but no, he's still alive.
Yeah, there was no death penalty when he was arrested in New York in 77. So yeah, he's he is still around, and unlike the other serial killers that I've profiled in the series, we did Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy. This is the first time I've had a living serial killer as a subject. So I debated for a long time whether or not to do a present day interview with him, because there's a sensitivity about giving a platform to a killer. I didn't want him to, out of respect for the victims, to try to reframe the narrative. But at the end of the day, I decided it was important to talk to him because a new victim has emerged. That's part of the newness of the show. There's a woman named Wendy Savino who for decades has claimed to be a surviving victim of a Berkowitz shooting, and it would have been actually Berkowitz's first shooting. She was ignored by the police for years, but some new evidence has come up, and now the NYPD has tagged yet another victim to Berkowitz, and I felt an obligation to get his point of view on it. But the show is mainly what we've done in previous seasons. There's tapes from 1980 that a journalist named Jack Jones from the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle, which was 50 miles from Attica prison where he was incarcerated then. Berkowitz wrote a letter to Jack Jones and wanted to have a sit down with him, and Jack did a masterful job of interviewing David in such a way that really he was very truthful in this moment. And because he's Berkowitz has been known to fabricate. And so the series is based on these tapes, and it's just a fascinating discussion.
You have covered some extremely dark topics. I mean, all of these are very dark topics. How do you see hope and joy in the world after just delving so deep into these stories?
A great question. Well, to be honest, I had a rough childhood with an abusive father, so a lot of these explorations of evil are actually very healthy for me to explore. Secondly, the other, early on in my career, I think the thing I'm most well known for is a film called Paradise Lost, which is about the West Memphis Three, these three teenagers who were accused of these devil-worshipping murders. The films showed that they were innocent, but they were accused of the murder of 3 8-year-olds in an alleged satanic ritual. And when I was making that film, I spent a day, there was one particular day in the edit where we were really looking at all the police crime scene footage and all the autopsy photos, trying to decide how much of that to include in the film. And when I came home that night, I went into the nursery of my new child. I had a 9-month-old. And I dropped the arm of the crib and picked up my child, and I kept flashing on these horrific images that no one should look at. And I started to resent the project because it was kind of stealing my fatherly innocence at that moment. Like I'm thinking about autopsy photos while I'm holding my kid. And it was just, and I was thinking about how this story has made me stare into the abyss of evil. And it just really robbed the moment for me. So ever since then, I went out and I got a good luck charm. And what I call a good luck charm, a little coin. And when I walk into my house, I throw that coin into a little ashtray. And for me, that's my way of saying, okay, I'm leaving the work here and I'm not thinking about it when I'm in my home. And when I walk out of my house, I'll put the coin back in my pocket. So that's how I deal with it. I try to compartmentalize, and I also try to, do things responsibly. There's a lot of irresponsible true crime, I think, that wallows in the misery of others without any kind of larger social justice goals or any real reason other than to tell a yarn for people to consume. And I always ask myself before I tell a story, what is the needle that I can move here? My shows have gotten people out of prison who are wrongfully convicted. We've identified new victims of serial killers. There's always, I won't do a show unless I can see a larger reason doing it other than just entertaining people.
Joe, you're doing an incredible job. Like I said, I probably won't watch the Gacy one because I am terrified of clowns. Terrified of clowns. And I can't. I want to, but I can't.
I hear you.
But,
my wife is the same, the poster I have posters in my office at home. The one poster she would not let me put on the wall is the Gacy poster because it's the image of the clown. And my wife literally said, you cannot put that poster up. Even if it's your office, I don't want to.
Your wife is very smart. So, Joe, people can watch this Conversations with a Killer on Netflix.
Right. It's streaming now on Netflix. It's called Conversations with a Killer, the Son of Sam tapes.
You're incredible, and I really hope I get to chat with you again sometime for longer. I would just love to pick your brain about so much.
Cool. Anytime.
You can catch this Bacon Bit and Amanda's other Bacon Bits, as well as a lot of our other programs, too, on our website at the Radio Rewind section. Just click on it on the top at myclallamcounty.com.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
Hello, Clallam County. Tri-State's opening their new showroom in Sequim by appointment only, offering roofing, Pella windows, siding, patio covers, and doors. To schedule an appointment, please call 360-208-2222 or visit tristate.pro. Thank you for putting your trust in Tri-State Roofing. We got you covered.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
When you need surgery, timing is everything. At Olympic Medical Center, our skilled general surgery team is here for you 24 hours a day, ensuring you get the care you need. From planned procedures like hernia repairs to emergencies like appendectomies and even full trauma care. We're ready. Meet our dedicated local team and learn more about our comprehensive services at olympicmedical.org/general surgery.
Did you know you can find that unique gift for your special someone of all ages in our gift department? We carry gift lines from local vendors as well as unique gifts from vendors not found on the peninsula. Specialty foods, sauces, and chocolates are also available for your shopping needs. Don't forget our customer service associates will wrap your gift for free. We have fun ideas for all ages. Jim's Pharmacy, open 7 days a week behind the Port Angeles Post Office.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
May I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time. Pizza deserves Pepsi.
This is James Garlick, Co-Artistic Director of Music on the Straight, inviting you and your family to 2 exciting concerts at Field Hall on Monday, September 1st and Saturday, September 6th. Both shows feature world-renowned pianist Jeremy Denk in concert with some of the best musicians from around the country. Families are warmly welcome and kids are only $5.
To learn more and get your tickets for Music on the Straight, visit musiconthestraight.org. Get there early for pre-concert activities including full bar and food.
Through August 19th, you'll save a ton during the Swain Summer and Back to School sale. Ace Landscaping fabric is a whopping 50% off. Lily Miller Casseron Weed and Grass Killer Granules are just $26.87 for an 8-pound bag, and an Orbit 5/8 inch by 50-foot heavy-duty hose with 400 PSI is only $12.87. You can even find snacks and drinks for those school lunches. Get Good to Grow character juices for only $2.47 each, and Old Trapper beef jerky sticks at 20% off. All going on now at Swain's.
Newsradio KONP Port Angeles Squim, serving the Olympic Peninsula now for 80 years. A Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. After key meetings, the hard work underway to get a lasting peace plan in place between Russia and Ukraine. President Trump says he's working to set up a meeting between both leaders and offering Ukraine security guarantees, but says it would not include U.S. boots on the ground.